With anticipation high, the G7 summit in Hiroshima will focus on China's economic coercion and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. China has so far not taken this well. Our Kim Do-yeon files this report from Hiroshima.
The G7 summit in Hiroshima kicked off with some of the world's most powerful leaders all here in this city of 1.2 million people. Invited on top of the group of 7 or 8 world leaders, those of South Korea, Australia, and India, among others. For the next 3 days, they will hold talks on expanding cooperation on economy and security. This year's G7 is expected to focus on China's economic coercion and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, the public waits to see how strong of a message these leaders agree to send after talks have finished, after narrowing their differences in approach to these ongoing issues. China has shown strong condemnation of the global meeting, calling it a provocation against the country.
As the host country of the G7 summit, Japan is obsessed with provoking and making bloc confrontation and impairing regional interests. China firmly opposes it.
As for the group's stance on the Russian invasion of Ukraine, it has been reported by a number of media outlets that Ukrainian President Zelensky will pay a visit in person to these meetings. And while the leaders are working on the final agreement, Reuters reports that more sanctions against Russia have been drafted, and by the end of this summit, the results will be revealed. Also, one important aspect of this summit is nuclear disarmament. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida chose his hometown especially for this, as the city endured a devastating atomic bomb attack back in 1945, killing more than 120,000 people. With that in mind, one of the first things that the leaders did was to visit the Hiroshima Peace Memorial to pay their respects. Of the 7 countries represented, the US, France, and Great Britain are holders of nuclear arms, and this has sparked some backlash in Hiroshima, with protesters out on the streets condemning the decision to hold the meetings here in the city. Some have called it the West's influence on Japan in aggravating China. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News, Hiroshima.